If you just got orders to Naval Base Kitsap for 2026, this video is specially for you. BAH has changed. The housing market is shifting. There's a construction project that almost nobody is talking about that could affect your base commute every single day. And the household goods system that made last year so rough for so many families has been overhauled. Thank goodness. I'm going to walk through what has changed for 2026 and how to make some decisions that you won't regret during your PCS. I know this move, we did it ourselves. Starting from my hometown of Norfolk, where we had friends and family, and we had a great house, and my business was going great. We thought we had one more tour in Norfolk, and then the orders came, and they were sending us to Bremerton. So coast to coast and during COVID. So I get here and Jason and I bought a baby blue house. Okay, it had a lot of other things going for it, but I walked into that house and I thought, okay, what's the Navy done to us? It's COVID. I can't meet anybody. Nothing's open. Well, that doesn't have to be the whole story, and it certainly doesn't have to be your story. Here's what you need to know for 2026 to make the best of your PCS. You'll be surprised about how some of your early decisions before you even get here can really affect your day-to-day life, like that years-long construction project that's coming up. More on that little commute buster a little later. Let's get into it. The best news this year is that BAH for Naval Base Kitsap has increased in line with national adjustments. Check out your BAH amount. I'll drop the link down to the Trouble Management Office calculator down below. Sure, higher BAH can give you a little more breathing room, but it's not automatically going to give you a lot more house here, a lot more buying power. Kitsap is still one of the most highest cost housing markets in the US. And the cost of living here is higher too overall. And no, we don't receive COLA in this market. So even with an increase in BAH, you're operating in a market that rewards planning ahead and good strategy. What's going to be really key this year, the housing market is in a period of shift. Mortgage interest rates are lower than they've been the last 3 years or so, and hopefully they'll continue that downward trend. Now, overall, that's a great thing for all of us, but it does bring a little bit of challenge because the buyers who've been sitting out the house market for a little while, they're probably going to start coming back in when those rates go down. Inventory is still tight, roughly 2 months. And here's something worth watching this spring specifically. The USS Nimitz is scheduled to leave shortly for decommissioning in Hampton Roads. So, of course, when a carrier leaves, families follow, houses get sold. We're hoping that's going to loosen up a little inventory and ease traffic around the base. Now, that could shift and will shift in 2026 when the JFK carrier arrives. So if your PCS is going to be soon this year, you may be hitting a brief window. Don't sleep on it if you're going to look for housing. Let me show you where the market actually stands right now, and I'll be specific. We pull our numbers from the Northwest MLS, and we remove Bainbridge Island from the Kitsap data because Bainbridge is a very high-priced area, and it really skews data for the rest of Kitsap, so we take that out. What you're actually looking for right now in Kitsap in early 2026 is a median price of about $547,000. And we're low on inventory. We have about 1.7, 2.0 months of inventory. So that's not a buyer's market, but it's not a frenzy either. It's a market that rewards families who show up prepared. And that Nimitz window that I mentioned earlier, we're all going to be watching that to see what happens to inventory this spring. My advice, if you're PCSing in spring or summer of 26, start earlier, start digging into and watching neighborhoods and understanding the commutes where you want to be. I'll dig deeper into why your commute matters more now than ever in just a minute. A cute kitchen and budget matters, but layout and location matter most. And new construction, sure, it's tempting, fresh and new. Sometimes it makes sense. But personally, I tend to favor established neighborhoods closer to base over those brand new builds, especially if they're farther from base. Overall, a home builds equity over time. In the first few years, you're not going to build equity as quickly. Also, if you sell too quickly and the builder's still building, you're going to be competing with builder incentives and brand new construction. One way we've had a lot of success with our clients is a VA assumption. Now, it's worth understanding before you start. Here's why it matters. Some homeowners in Kitsap locked in their VA loans at 2.5%, 3% a few years back. If their home is for sale and the loan is assumable, you may be able to take over that rate, not qualify for a new loan at today's rates, but take over their lower rate, their existing loan. That gives you a whole lot more buying power than today. In a market where interest rates are still elevated, that difference can be hundreds of dollars a month savings. Over a 3-year tour, that really adds up. And if you want to keep it when you leave and rent it out, it makes it so much easier. Those deals are still out there, but they take an agent who knows how to find them and navigate the process. It's not complicated, it's just pretty specific, and it can take time. And it's one of the ways we've helped several military families get a lot more house for their BAH than they expected. If you'd like more details on VA assumptions, I love sharing about it. Love seeing people get great deals and great rates. Drop me a comment below or reach out. I love to share. You know, you can find a perfectly nice house to rent or buy anywhere in Kitsap. The question is what getting to and from work is going to do to you from that location, what it's going to do to your morning and afternoons. So here's the PCS juice on your commute. Naval Base Kitsap has two worlds, Bangor, a little bit farther north near Silverdale, and Bremerton towards the south. In South Kitsap, Port Orchard particularly has some tempting house prices, bigger yards, more space for the money. But between Central Kitsap and South Kitsap sits a little spot called Gorst. You've probably never heard of it. It's not even a town. It's kind of a little area with a hairpin turn, a highway junction that connects everything. And right now, WSDOT is in the early stages of a multi-year construction project through that corridor. Fish culverts first, then a full traffic pattern overhaul. It won't be nonstop chaos, but WSDOT has already said detours and delays will be unpredictable. So there you are, perfectly good day. It's a 0-7 report time and then unpredictability. When you have to report, that is not your friend. That's not the way you want to spend your morning. So Jason, I know that you were really particular about where we chose our house. And I know that we looked at homes that had, you know, maybe more square footage or sexier kitchen or whatever, but they were farther from base.
Yeah, I mean, and I had been up here before. I've been stationed up here before, so I kind of knew the ins and outs and how the traffic patterns went. And so, yeah, it was important to me to be north of Gorst. Port Orchard, a little more affordable down that way, but you're dealing with the commute times and the unpredictability of that Gorst traffic in the mornings, and then really in the evenings whenever everybody's getting off work from PSNS. And so, every time I PCS, I always look to be about 15 minutes from base. Give you a little bit of drive time afterwards to de-stress, but then not too much. And then the only thing you have to worry about is, what the base traffic's doing coming on base, and that varies, but it backs up as well. So you always have to figure that into commute time, because it might say 15 minutes on Google Maps, but really you're sitting on the base traffic or getting into the traffic to get on base, and that's another 10 to 15 minutes as well.
Right. And it's even going to get worse when we have the fish culverts and then the eventual when they redo the whole traffic through Gorst. So, the next few years are going to be, kind of unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying, 16 days of shutdown in the summer. That's going to be unfortunate. And then the construction's going to keep going on until the winter of 2029. So that's, if you're PCSing now and you have 3-year orders, that's the whole time you're here. So think of it that way.
Yikes. And this is where I tell families something that genuinely surprises them. You can renovate a kitchen, you can replace a pig-shaped light switch, ask me how I know, but you cannot renovate 40 minutes back into your day. Your commute matters more than your countertops. Okay, let's be honest, 2025 was rough for a lot of PCSing families. That global household goods contract issues caused lots of delays. There were lost and damaged shipments, lots of communication problems. Now, today, the home safe contract is gone, And the Pentagon is now running moves directly through a new agency. Hopefully, we'll get better accountability, but I would say still build in buffer time. Even with improvements to the system, we are not in control of our moves. I tell my friends and my clients to not plan their lives down to the hour that you think the truck's going to arrive. Give yourself some breathing room. Orders can shift, deliveries surprise you, and your first week here shouldn't depend on perfect logistics. When our household goods finally arrived, the boxes were stacked in that aggressively baby blue house that we bought with the 5 garages. Thanks, Jason. And something shifted for me. We had our couch, we had our stuff, my Fiesta ware stacked in the new kitchen. Yeah, it was a different space, but it was still us. And I realized that our tour didn't have to feel like a disruption. It could feel like a reset. I started to look around and find some things that I loved. And let me tell you what nobody else probably will tell you when you get orders to the Pac Northwest. Seattle is a ferry ride away. It is a world-class city. You know, we walk onto the ferry sometimes, no car, no parking, no hassle. It's great. And you walk off the boat, and right there you are in downtown. You're easy a couple blocks to Pike Place. You are near the first Starbucks. You're near shopping. It's amazing. I have one core memory about one trip. This one particular day, the water was really sparkling on the way over. It was like diamonds. It was great. You could see the Ferris wheel on the waterfront from the deck, the whole city line out in front of you. We spent the afternoon over at Pike Place with the kids, the flowers, the fish. It was kind of chaotic and fun. And then we did the gum wall. The kids were absolutely disgusted, and so was I. 10 out of 10, though, I recommend. It's worth seeing. And then on the way home, the sunset turned the whole sky this gorgeous orange color, and we all stood on the deck taking pictures. That's when you kind of breathe and realize, hey, this is just Tuesday in the Pac Northwest, and we live here. This is not a hardship tour. It's a life. And you give the Navy just a little thanks for experiences like that. If you're PCSing here in 2026, you don't have to stand in an empty house wondering what the Navy just did to your family. You just have to show up with a plan. Oh, if you're still deciding where to land, watch my video on the 3 underappreciated Bremerton neighborhoods and grab the free military family guide down below in the description. Kitsap is going to surprise you. I promise. We'll see you on the set.